Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy Show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about a really interesting topic, which may not seem uh, obvious to talk about in terms of a show about excellence, but we're going to talk about it anyway. It's the idea of prayer. And for us, prayer is just kind of a code word, like in many ways, a vernacular term for communing with the Most High, uh, spiritual, energetic relationship with the higher power. But we'll get into that in a few seconds. So, talking about prayer today. So thanks for being here, guys. If you're new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a series of great workshops. You could programs. We have I don't want to get too deep into the details now, but go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about what we do. Powerful series of programs really designed to enhance human productivity. So thanks for being here. I should also say a few words about myself. For those of you who are new, most people watch the show in reruns, as we like to say, because they won't get up with me at 4:45 a.m. But here, West Coast time. But this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating in Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literature. In fact, we'll be in Seattle this weekend at the MLA conference on a panel discussing that book and other things. So if you're in Seattle, holla at your boy. I'm also the board president of the World Stage. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad. My master's is from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature is from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive. Again, I don't say this to brag or boast, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity given how crazy my own personal narrative is. I am the product of a young girl who was sexually assaulted at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a great single divorcee, yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Less in difficult times for the young MD, yet as Cool Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we believe many people can be, in their own way, of course, productive using joy itself as a technology. So that inspires me personally, for sure. Inspires the work that I do, inspires our business, and certainly inspires this show because we know it's not where you're from, it's where you're about to go. So let's go into this text, into this show. All right, so let's dive in. So, guys, we're talking today about prayer. At times because people have many different ideas about prayer, or or do not think that we should be talking about prayer, spiritual issues in relation to business or productivity, but we beg to differ. So let me first give an understanding from what we about how we conceptualize prayer. Prayer is just a way of thinking about a word that encompasses basically communing, relating to, speaking with, being in conversation with, being in relationship with the thing itself, the higher power. As we know, there through science that the energy cannot be created or destroyed; it just changes forms. And so, all that has been here in the beginning, from the beginning of time, is still here in some form, including and isn't everywhere. So that thing itself, that original thing that was here, call it energy, call it God, call it spirit, call it Yahweh, call it Jesus, whatever you want to call it, that thing at the energetic level is still here because energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just changes forms. So we learned that in 10th grade, right? The law of conservation. Is that law from 10th grade? I forget. But I'm sure you learned that from 10th grade sciences. I'm sure I did. That's when I learned about that. And so you want to know that that thing itself, you have access to it. If it's everywhere, it's got to be also inside of you. So when we talk about prayer, we're not talking about praying to some man in the sky, some anthropomorphic cat in the sky with a white beard, a white cat in the sky. We're talking about communing with that thing itself. So let me just give you as a brief aside. So I live here at the beach in Venice, and so the spirit, the energy, we call it God, whatever, is present in nature. You really, really can feel the power of what I'll just call God right now as a catch-all phrase when you are in nature, which is why if you see people, if you meditate at all or engage in watching meditation videos, you'll also oftentimes see these videos set in nature. There's ocean running, there's a mountain scene, there's, because you can really, I'm not even sure why this is true, but you get a sense of the creative power of God in nature. So, why go through all this explanation and contextualization? Is to say that don't let the word prayer scare you off. I know people are sensitive about being labeled as, especially people in my world who are scholars. It's not uncommon for scholars to be agnostic or atheists, or people to, kind of tease people who believe in God, right? So I get that, So certainly I'm sensitive to that, that critique, because I'm speaking these things so publicly. But listen, God is real. This energy is real. And so one way to access it is through prayer. When I say prayer, again, it's not just talking to some man in the sky. It's talking to the God, for example, inside yourself. It's engaging by being in meditation, for example, in nature, as I do each morning at the beach. Right? So we're talking about engaging and communing with what I call one love, right? That's my understanding of God. God is love. I call it one love because there's just one. So that's point one in terms of offering the context. Point two is that you want to be in a multitude, in a multitudinous series of ways. You want to be engaged in conversation with that one love God in prayer, right? So we can pray with our feet, through our meditation, through our words, through our songs. So at times I sing, not well, not in tune, but I do it as a way just to praise and be in communication with the one love that's everywhere, including inside myself, which goes right into point three. As you are in that process of communing with the God in you and all around you, it gives you an extraordinary power to respond to difficulty, right? I'm laughing because I'm thinking about, I'm reading, as part of my morning rituals, I read I call them sacred texts. I read the Quran, I read the Bible, I read ancient Egyptian texts, the Book of Breathing. I'm reading the Metu Neter, which is a kind of a compendium of ancient African ideas. Now I'm reading the Book of Psalms in the Bible, right? I read a psalm a day, think about it, contemplate it, and I do apply the teachings to my life. I'm going to read the book of Proverbs, I think, next. But now I'm reading the book of Psalms. And there are some things that, that this book which is a great book, talks about just in the psalmist David, at least the Psalms, I'm on Psalm 109 now. The psalmist David is just discussing how people have come at him, returned hate for his friendship. He gave them friendship, they returned hate, accused him, etc. Things I've all definitely experienced in an intimate way. And so it makes you reflect on your life and how you're going to respond when people return your love with hatred, your friendship with hatred. When people in your circle have betrayed you, that's the worst, because you're blindsided. Oftentimes folks who we've really loved at times treat us in ways that are not loving, and that's one of the most difficult things to experience, because you're so disappointed in them and the world and yourself for not seeing it coming, and that's when you really have your personal principles tested, your strength, your integrity, what you are really, really about. And so although this is going to sound strange, in those times of betrayal in particular, you don't have to be, we encourage you to be grateful for that time, which sounds crazy, I know, because in that you get an opportunity, in that betrayal, you get an opportunity to see where you are in terms of being about what you say you are about. If you are about love, when you get betrayed, that love's going to be tested, right? Because that oftentimes betrayal leads to all kinds of challenges, of course. And in those challenges, as you respond to them, you'll learn about your strength. You'll learn about your courage, and in that process, it also makes you pray more. It makes you commune with the Spirit more. We many of us have heard about the stories of people going through difficulty and they turn to God, they find God. Again, I don't want to say that's the only time we need to seek out Spirit or God, or I don't want to critique people for turning to God in their time of trouble. I'm just saying that's what happens for a lot of people, including me. And that is a good thing. And so at times the betrayal from friends, folks who know you, leads to a turn to God. And so in that process, as you praise and think about your life, you want to also be able to praise the betrayer, the Judas, for offering that that Judas kiss, that kiss of betrayal, because it allows you to tap more into the God inside yourself and to access your highest power. So boom, what goes the dynamite. That's all for today's show. We air each weekday morning. We got preaching today, hella early at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. at Facebook Live. Guys, we love and respect you here. Again, I'll be in Seattle at MLA this weekend. If you are in that area, hit me up. Social media, let's grab some cognac or some chamomile. Let's chop it up some, all right? I arrive in town on Friday. The conference is primarily at the Sheraton, so I'll be in the lobby, I'm sure. The lobby bar, drinking tea and drinking cognac. So come on out and let's hang out, all right? So until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.